How you going? Today I'm going to talk to you about how to build a jib crane or a jib arm for your camera. This is for lightweight cameras that it's a rig that I've built that costs under $50. I'll show you there's two ways of building it. The one I've built is around, it cost me around about, if you work out all the extra components, probably $150, but there is ways of doing it so it's much cheaper, which I'll explain. The cool thing about this is it's portable, because this pole here is a telescopic pole, so you can bring it down, carry it. It's actually shorter than your tripod, and you can put it in your tripod bag and off you go, and it's all one big unit. It takes about 5 minutes to dismantle and away you go. How I've basically done it at the moment, I've got on the actual jib, I've got what's called a halo rig. Now this part here cost me about $100, but how I did it first was with a metal bracket, which was this metal bracket here, and that was actually mounted like that, and the camera sat there, and that's swiveled as you lift it. So that cost about $4. The only reason I changed it is because the camera I'm using is a Canon 5D, and it's actually a little bit heavy for this, so I wanted to make put the weight right in the centre, because what was happening was slightly twisting like that. If you've got a lightweight camera, what's on at the moment is a little Lumix camera, one of those cameras, or a DV camera, or even a your normal everyday consumer video cameras. They don't weigh much. This would be perfect. Alright, so on this end I've got just an old tripod holding up the bag, because this camera is actually a little bit lighter than the bag, the weight at the back. Now this bag cost me $25, but what I was using first was two 1.5 kilo weights, so these cost about $2 each, and you can just strap them on with a bit of rope or a strap and hook them in the back of the painter's pole. Okay, now what I've got is I've got a $25 bag on the back, that's full of sand. You buy the bags for $25, obviously empty of sand, but these painter's pole have an eyelet in it. I've just got a little clip there that I've put on that I can hook the bag on and off really quickly. That eyelet's part of the pole. This is a foam rubber, which is good for grip. As you can see, what I've done here is I've just mounted just focus a little bit better, just through here. That bolt goes through the tripod. It's got a bracket that goes up the top there like that, with the bolt that goes through with a wing nut on the other side. Now the reason for the wing nut is because that wing nut there, this is the part you dismantle. So when I'm pulling it apart, I'll take that bolt out and then take the pole out and put the bolt back in the same spot, so this stays with the tripod. When I get to the other end, I'll take the one bolt out the other end, and the whole lot will just slide back up together and be completely locked in position. So it's it's nice and short. And this is just an old tripod I've had. This isn't my main tripod, it's just a photographer's tripod, and it uses the actual swivel. The base is where you get your swivel from, and this is where you get your tilt from, but you can also tilt it through the arm of the tripod as well. And as you can see, it extends along. This is a button you press and it pulls the extension back, and you've got different settings you can use that are already pre-drilled into the frame as well. There was a cap on the end that I actually cut off because it was the screw part where the paint pole stuff goes on. It wasn't needed, so I took it off. Now on this end, I've got the exact same thing. What I've done is I've put a little, if you can see it, but I'll just focus it best I can. No, not going to get it. Okay, just in there, there's a plastic washer, and in there as well, and that side is the head of the nut, and this side is a lock nut. Now that's nice and tight, but because it's got a plastic washer, it swivels. So as you move up and down, the weight of this keeps it perfectly perpendicular to the ground, which means your camera stays completely level. So you can go up, left or right, it goes up and it just stays level, pointing forward. Now when I dismantle this, that bolt there, this wing nut here, I just take the wing nut out, pack the halo rig up, slide this back all the way, and we're done. Now I've got some footage of this I shot earlier today to show you how good it works. This obviously isn't the camera I use on it. Just wanted to show you how it works. Now these halo rigs are good because you've got a little camera mount under there, and you can also put a tripod on there as well if you wanted to hold it up. I used the halo rig because I already had it. I didn't buy it specifically for this. I just had it already. This is like a Steadicam rig. You put your camera, monitor on top, the microphone and whatever, and you hold on to the sides and go and you run around and film. It's really good. But since I was using it anyway, and this wasn't damaging it, I thought it'd be good for this because it keeps the centre of gravity right under the main pole. And keep in mind you can't pan and tilt, so you can't control the tilt from the other end, and you can't twist left and right that way like you can with jib arms. Now, a lot of jib arms do that, but then you'll need, this is quite possible to do that, but you're going to need cables and guy ropes and tensioners and pulleys and things like that, which you can do, but the whole idea is to keep this as simple as possible and portable. Since this points just forward, if you set your shot up right, you don't need to tilt. You can pretty much follow your subject pointing forward all the time. Just make sure that they move in the arc of your camera moving, as you'll see from the footage that I've shot earlier. Alright, thank you. And if you make one, send me a video response down below so I can see what you've done, because any ideas to improve this, I'll be happy to see.